Welcome, so welcome aboard. Please head all the way in, fill in all that available space for me and find that best seat for you and your party. I do recommend any little ones sitting on the outside, just so you can make the animals a little better. But find those final seats so we can't push around out on the reserve. We can be moving here in just a moment. And for those on the right hand side, just watch those hands, arms, feet, legs as those doors will be sliding closed next to you. Asante Sana Warrior, which means thank you. Another thing we like to say here in Harambe is Twende, and Twende means let's go. Now, Jumbo, everyone, my name is Bella. I'll be your safari guide today. Now, just as a safety reminder, make sure everyone's staying seated the entire safari ride, including any lap sitters. Keep those hands, arms, feet, legs inside the truck at all times. Now, we are about to be heading to the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, and there are a few things to remember before we head on in. This is going to be the animals' home, so make sure we're not making any loud calls or noises towards them, like any kissing noises or whistling noises. That does scare them away. And if you're having any conversations amongst yourselves, that's totally fine. Just make sure they're at a lower volume so you're not disturbing the animals or the people around you. And it does get quite bumpy out there on the reserve, so make sure you're holding on tight to all those personal belongings, since I can't stop to pick anything that falls out of the truck. But we are heading into the Little Ituri Forest first. Now, this forest is home to animals who use their natural camouflage to help them blend in with their surroundings. And that in turn helps protect them from predators. So as we make our way in here, make sure you're looking in those trees and in those bushes to see if you can find anything. And I do see an okapi on the right hand side. It's going to be kind of behind that little log over there, a little tree stump kind of thing. That okapi has those white stripes on its legs, as you can see over here. And those white stripes help them blend in with their environment. A lot of people think that they look like zebras with those white stripes on their legs, but they're actually close relatives to the giraffe. The okapis and giraffes have a very similar skeletal structure. They both also have a long prehensile tongue that allows for them to grab onto tree branches and leaves just like a finger does in order to get that vegetation that they need, the food that they need. Their tongues are even long enough where they can lick their own eyeball, which is pretty wild. Their tongues are also a purplish blue color because they do spend the majority of their day grazing, and that purplish blue color does help protect their tongue from getting sunburnt. And giraffes also have this feature as well. Make our way past this watering hole here, which is a common feeding spot for animals in the forest, so hopefully that means we can find some more up ahead. So on the left-hand side, on top of this hill here, there are going to be some reddish antelope called the bongos. The bongos are called the ghosts of the forest because they're hardly ever seen. Both the males and females will actually have those horns on their heads that angle backwards that allow for them to glide easily through underbrush. And those tan antelope that you're seeing are called the greater kudus. And as you can see, they have really large cupped ears, and that allows for them to use their hearing as their primary sense, unlike a lot of animals who use their sight like humans do. And they are very tall antelope as well. They can be up to 55 inches at their shoulder. And those are female greater kudus since they didn't have any horns on their head. We are going to head over to the Safi River next. And the Safi River does have a lot of different types of animals that like to hang out near or in the water. And I am seeing some on our way down here. I see a Nile hippopotamus as well as some pink-backed pelicans. Now, these pink-backed pelicans do get their name from a pink coloration of their skin that they get during mating season. And they are colonial nesters, which means 20 to 500 pairs of pelicans will nest together in one area, and both the males and the females will incubate their eggs together. And there are these hippos over here on the surface. And they do spend the majority of their time in the water, but they do like to hang out on the surface to graze, and they especially do this during nighttime. They are nocturnal animals, so you can see this one's napping over here. But being in the water does help them prevent themselves from overheating. And they do like to swim as well, but they also like to sink down to the bottom of the water and walk along the bottom. And when it's time for them to come back up to the surface, they will propel themselves back on up, take that breath, and they can stay underwater for up to 8 minutes at a time. These hippos, when they do come up to the surface to graze, like we saw that one doing back there, they do like to eat things such as water plants, grasses, and fruits. Now coming up on the left as well, there are going to be some Nile crocodiles. These crocodiles on average are about 11.5 feet long.
Wow.
And they get a bad reputation for being dangerous, but they are great parents. They're very family-oriented animals. Both the males and the females will roll their eggs around their mouths to help them hatch, and both those moms and dads get very protective over their eggs as well. And the mothers even have a special pouch inside of their mouths they can put the baby crocodiles in, just in case there's any danger present. If you've ever seen a crocodile with its mouth open, that's just a way for them to cool their bodies down, just like how a dog pants. The crocodiles will keep their mouths open. But we are leaving the forest and river ecosystems. We're going to head over to the savanna ecosystem next. In this ecosystem, there's a lot of different plant life and different animal life in the forest and the river. So as we make our way over, make sure you're looking around and see if you can notice any of those changes, like this change in plant life up ahead. This is going to be the baobab tree coming up on the right. And the baobab tree is also called the upside down tree because its branches kind of look like its roots are up in the air. But it's also called the tree of life, just like over in Discovery Island. This is the real tree of life. And it gets that nickname because it can store a lot of water inside of its trunk. And some animals, like elephants, will even rip off the bark of the baobab tree and poke holes into its trunk in order to get to the water inside of it, especially during periods of drought. We are heading down to the savannah, and the savannah is home to some of Africa's most famous animals, such as giraffes, zebras, elephants, flamingos, rhinos, cheetahs, lions, and so many more. So hopefully we can find some of those famous animals as we make our way down here. And maybe we'll find some animals you've never seen or never even heard of before. Make sure you're looking everywhere, both sides of the truck. Never know who's going to come up and say hello to us. On the right here, I'm seeing some Ankoli cattle. These are the animals with the really large horns on their heads that we're seeing here. Those horns can be up to 5 to 6 feet long. And it looks like they'd weigh a lot since they are so large, especially this one over here. But they actually have a honeycomb-like structure on the inside of their horns that allows for them to be a little bit lighter weight for them. So usually their horns are only about 15 pounds. Oh, that little animal over there, that's gonna be a springbok. They kind of look like little s'mores over there. But the springbok get their name from their ability to jump really high in the air when they get nervous or excited. So they can jump up to 6 feet vertically and up to 13 feet forward. They're also one of the top 10 fastest land animals, running speeds up to 50 to 60 miles an hour. We'll get a closer look over there. On the left, there are going to be some African painted dogs running around. It can be a little hard to see, just make sure you're staying seated and look at them. But these painted dogs have their own individual coat. It looks like that one just dove in some water. It's a little wet running around. But they have that unique individual coat to each of them that allows for them to identify each other in their packs. And they do hunt together in these packs as well. And they're usually successful about 90% of the time. And unlike domesticated dogs and wolves who have 5 toes on their paws, those dogs only have 4 toes. Now on the left there are going to be some Hartman's mountain zebras along with these sable antelope. So the sable antelope are actually the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. And they do have those long horns that angle backwards that allow for them to defend themselves against each other and other animals. These are going to be the Hartman's mountain zebras as well. And if you look at their backs, they have that zipper-like pattern, especially near their tail. And that will help you identify them. They are one of 3 species of zebra. These zebras can weigh up to 750 pounds. And a group of zebras is called a dazzle, which I just think is such a fun word. And they can be in herds of up to 10,000 zebras. There's a bunch of little springbok running around up ahead, so hopefully they'll be running around when we get a little closer. But the zebras back there, they all have their own individual stripe pattern, so no zebra is the same.
Whoa!
Oh my goodness, I've never seen that, so I'm very excited too. That's so cute. But yeah, as you can see, they can jump really high.
I never did that before.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Cool. That's been a cool, unique safari today. Congrats. But here on the right again, there are those Ankoli cattle, and they are one of 2 domesticated animals here on the reserve. They're also called the Watusi cattle, named after the people who domesticated them. And in some cultures, owning those Ankoli cattle is a symbol of wealth. There are our cute little springbok again over here. Here's a great view of one of the cattle on the left as well. barely see those horns.
She's almost fake, right? Like it's stapled.
Let's keep going, see if we can find anything else around here. There are some termite mounds that we've been passing throughout the savanna here. And termite mounds are made of dirt, dung, and saliva. There are going to be some Maasai giraffes coming up. There's going to be one right on the right hand side and then more on the left. So get your cameras ready if you're a giraffe fan. But you can tell this is a Maasai giraffe thanks to its markings. They have a jagged leaf edge pattern to their spots here. And just as our fingerprints are individual to each of us, those markings are individual to each giraffe. Now if you remember me talking about the okapis and their long prehensile tongues are that purplish color, that giraffe has that same thing, but their tongues are a bit longer. Their tongues could be about 18 inches long, which is about the same length as the tip of your middle finger down to the tip of your elbow. You might be able to see them using it up here on the left. But a group of giraffes is called a tower, which is very appropriate since they are the world's tallest animal, reaching heights of up to 18 to 20 feet. Even the newborn giraffes can be up to 6 feet tall when they're born. They do spend the majority of their day eating. They eat for up to 20 hours out of the day. They only need to spend about 30 minutes resting. They usually sleep standing up, but they can lie down like we're seeing the one back there doing. They usually take naps in small increments. Now, over there with those giraffes, there's that tan antelope. You can kind of see it on the left here still. And that's going to be an eland. And the elands are actually the tallest antelope. And they can reach heights of up to 6 feet at their shoulders. We are entering this area with some fallen trees, which means that there could be some elephants nearby, so we'll definitely have to keep our eyes out. But elephants do love to knock down trees in order to get to the vegetation at the top of them. And make our way around here, see what we can find. Now there are going to be some mandrills on the left-hand side as we're looking for these elephants. Now mandrills are the world's largest monkey. The males can weigh up to 100 pounds, but the best way to identify them is with those bright red and blue faces that they have. And the male mandrills, as they get more excited, their faces do get a brighter color. And that is just like Rafiki in The Lion King, but Rafiki does have a longer tail, but really mandrills just have these little nubs for tails. And they also have some special pouches in their mouths that they can store extra food in to save for later. If you look on the right there, there's that African elephant. There's two of them over there. Now, African elephants you can identify with those ears. They have very large ears that kind of look like the continent of Africa. And those elephants can eat up to 300 pounds of food each day, which is about the same weight as an empty refrigerator. But here at Harambe Wildlife Reserve, they do care a lot about elephant conservation. So there has been some research on the behaviors of the elephants here, and that research has been applied to elephant conservation projects around the world, such as the Elephants and Bees project over in Kenya. Now, due to habitat loss, a lot of elephants were wandering onto farmers' land and eating a lot of the farmers' crops. You can see them again on the left, on the right there. And as we learned, elephants can eat quite a bit of food. They're eating about a season's worth of crops. So the farmers want to know how they can keep their crops safe while also keeping the elephants safe. They learned that elephants are afraid of the sound of bees because they have very sensitive skin. The stings hurt, so they will make calls towards each other when bees are in an area to tell each other to stay away from that area. Those scary bees are over there. So the farmers started putting beehive fences up around their crops, and that safely kept the elephants away, protected the crops, introduced some pollinators to their crops, and also earned the farmers a little extra profit with the honey that they're producing. So it's a great elephant conservation success story, and the research on the calls of the elephants make was done here at Harambe Wildlife Reserve, which is pretty cool. Now on the right back there were some tusk marks in that red clay, which means there could be some more elephants up ahead. We'll definitely keep our eyes out. The elephants do love red clay because it's almost like a daily vitamin that we take every day, but for elephants. Red clay has nutrients and minerals in it that elephants don't normally get in their daily diets. So eating red clay is a very delicious and nutritious snack for them. If you saw back there, those elephants were flapping their ears around a little bit when we made that stop. And that's a way for them to cool their bodies down. And those ear flaps can send a wind current across their entire body. And it also cools down the large blood vessels they have behind their ears. So flapping their ears can cool their bodies down up to 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty impressive for an animal that large. I did see one up ahead, so we're going to keep making our way over. There are going to be some wildebeest on the right hand side, kind of behind these bushes over here. Now, wildebeest are the second largest group of herding animals, second to humans, which are the largest group. They can be in herds of up to 1.5 million. Those herds can travel together for 500 to 1,000 miles. Now, coming up on the left, there are going to be some more of those elephants tonight. As I mentioned, they have some very sensitive skin, so they will throw that dirt and mud up on their backs as a form of natural sunblock. You can see they've been doing it already a little bit. Well, that's kind of like a little sunblock to help them protect themselves. They're doing it right now. But elephants have a lot of muscles inside of their trunks. Does anyone have any guesses on how many muscles are in their trunk?
108.
108, great guess. Just a little off. 40,000 muscles in their trunk, which helps them be precise enough to pick up a single blade of grass, weights of more than 700 pounds, and store up to 5 gallons of water inside. Pretty versatile. On the right, there we are passing this on the left, we're passing out flamboyants of greater flamingos. Flamboyants is the name for a group of flamingos, and these are the greater flamingos, the lightest color pink flamingo in the flamingo family. They get that coloration of their feathers from the foods that they eat, and they eat brine shrimp and crustaceans, which have beta-carotene in them, and beta-carotene is what turns their feathers pink. If you notice, some of them have some gray feathers in there, and those are just younger flamingos. And flamingos hatch with gray feathers but after about a year or two, after they mature, those gray feathers will start to fall off. But we are entering another section of the savanna here, which hopefully means we can find even more amazing animals up ahead. We'll definitely have to keep our eyes out. We are passing some mud wallows on the left here, which means that there could be some rhinos up ahead, so we'll definitely have to keep looking for them. Sweet. But rhinos, just like elephants, have that very sensitive skin, so they will roll around in these mud wallows that we're seeing in the center here. To kind of help protect their skin from things such as the sun, insects, and parasites. We're also entering some big cat territories, which hopefully means we can find some big cats nearby. And just keep looking around. Really seeing too much over here. We're gonna keep on going. See if we can find anything else. We are approaching these copia rocks up here, and copia rocks are a rock formation that jut out of the savanna. A lot of different types of animals like to hang out near these rocks. They could be on either side of the truck too, so make sure you're looking around. You never know who's gonna be around. On the left there is going to be an African lion. This is going to be a male lion over here. You can tell because of his mane that he has. And that mane can weigh up to 50 pounds. It does get darker as he gets older. And if this male lion looks familiar to you, that's because he was the model used for the live action Simba in the new Lion King movie that came out a few years ago. So you are looking at a little celebrity up there. And these lions do sleep for up to 16 to 20 hours out of the day. And the female lions do the majority of the hunting for the pride. The male lions can help out, but they do tend to stay back to look over territory and protect any lion cubs in the pride. We are passing some warthog burrows here. That looks like there might be one in the very back on the left. But warthogs are a type of burrowing animal. And they do like to borrow burrows from other animals to use as their own. They like to borrow from aardvarks a lot. They have 4 tusks total, 2 for burrowing and 2 for defense. And they do get very protective over their burrows. So they'll back into their burrows with their tusks out to make sure no other animal comes in with them. on the right, there are going to be some ostrich eggs with those large yellow eggs on the ground.
Eggs.
Now, ostriches do lay eggs just like chickens do, but their eggs are a little bit bigger. Those eggs do weigh about 3 to 4 pounds each, which may not seem like too much, but that's about the same weight as 2 dozen chicken eggs for that one ostrich egg. And they are incredibly strong eggs as well. Any one of us on this truck right now could stand on top of those eggs, or even just one of them, and they would not break. They're very strong. Alright, now we are hitting the kind of an outskirts section of the reserve. This is an area called Magadi Glen. Magadi Glen is an area of conservation here on the reserve, and is also home to a warden's post. And at this warden's post, there are a few Nigerian dwarf goats that like to hang out around here. Nigerian dwarf goats are a type of domesticated goat that you can find all over the world, in this case in that truck and all over this building here. But they are very playful goats, and playing does actually help them mature. And they are very beneficial. They eat a lot of overgrowth that other grazing animals don't tend to eat, and also take up a lot less space than other types of livestock, so they are very beneficial, especially on farms. If you've seen, they have rectangular irises on their eyes, and that helps them see wider distances so they don't have to turn their heads as much. Unfortunately, we are going to be leaving the reserve. We're going to head back to Harambe Village, but we did see some pretty amazing animals while we were out there, especially that springbok bouncing around. That was so cute. But a lot of people wonder how they can help out some of the animals that they saw here when they're back at home, especially since most, if not all of these animals are endangered or threatened in some way. So I do recommend doing your research, researching your favorite animal here on the reserve, or your favorite animal in general, and see what conservation is happening to help those animals and their habitats. Also, make sure that you are reducing, reusing, and recycling whenever you can, wherever you go. One way you can do that today is by recycling your park map when you're done with it. And to help out our friends in the forest, like those bongos, okapis, and greater kudus, make sure that you are conserving the amount of paper that you're using and recycling that paper when you're done with it. That will help ensure that those animals have a habitat they can use that natural camouflage in. And help out animals such as those elephants, mandrills, and okapis that we saw. Make sure that you are recycling your electronics when you're done with them, such as those phones, tablets, and computers. A lot of handheld devices have an element called coltan in them, and coltan is actually a mine in those elephant, mandrill, and okapi habitats. So the more that you're recycling those electronics, the more you're helping out those animals and their homes. Now we are going to be approaching these unloading docks here in just a moment, so make sure you're gathering those personal belongings, make sure nothing fell out of your pockets on that bumpy ride. But another way you can help out animals here at Disney's Animal Kingdom is by donating to the Disney Conservation Fund. You can do that at any merchandise location here at Animal Kingdom. You can round up your total or make any dollar amount donation. Disney will match your donation, dollar for dollar, penny for penny. You'll also get a cool button like the one I'm wearing, saying you're a Disney Conservation Hero. Again, start gathering those purple belongings. Looks like this dock's going to clear up for us in just a moment. Now here in Harambe, we don't like to say goodbye because it's far too sad and far too final, so we do like to say kwaherini, which means to go well in Swahili. So kwaherini, everyone, go well, go wild, and go have a great rest of your day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And my name is Bella. It's been a pleasure being your safari guide today, and I hope you had a great time on your safari, because I definitely did. I hope you have a great rest of your day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, or wherever your adventure takes you next. Make sure you're staying hydrated today as well. Like on the right hand side, watch those hands, arms, feet, legs as those doors be silent open next to you. Watch your head and step on your way out. And kwaherini, everyone. Thank you so much for coming aboard. Of course, and the last part is the single one.